हो गया ना, तो हो ही गया था। चेक करूँ मैं। इस्कॉन नोएडा लाइव, इस्कॉन नोएडा लाइव। लाइव ना आ गया ना, कुछ बोलेंगे तो अभी जब ये बोलेंगे ना तो यहाँ पे ये आपको यूट्यूब पर स्क्रीन दिख रही है। आ रहा है ना, जब ये इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे तो तब लिखा है। आज से ही नहीं आ रहा, समझ से नहीं आ रही। मेरी आवाज क्यों आ रही है इसमें? आपकी आवाज सही नहीं है। क्या हुआ? पाल के लिखा हुआ है। तार वाले माइक की आवाज ठीक आती है, इसमें ठीक। ठीक है, जब भी कोई इंग्लिश वाला लेक्चर हो तो कैप्शन ऑन कर देना हमेशा, क्योंकि वो ये बोलते हैं समझ में नहीं आता ना, तो लिख के समझ में आता है।
Hare Krishna, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem Sako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Mathura Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Yamunamai Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai, Padayatra India Ki Jai, Padayatra Noida to Vrindavan Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. And all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace, Sri Lasi Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And all glories to Damodar Leela and Kartik Mas. I left my glasses in my, but I can see. You can take this. Anyway, I can make it out. Today's verse, 10, 7, 30? Huh? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's already 8:30, so I'm just going to, I guess, quickly read the verse, okay? Pradaya matre pratiricha pradaya matra pratiricha vismita Krishnam chatasyorasi lambamanam tam svastimantam purushadanitam vihaya samrityu mukhat pramuktam Gopyascha Gopakila Nandamukya Labdva Punar Prapurativa Modam. I guess we can do the word for words together. Padaya, after picking up, Matre, unto his mother Yashoda, Patiricha, loudly delivered, Vismita, all surprised, Krishnam cha, and Krishna, Tasya, of the demon, Urasi, on the chest, Lambamanam, situated, Tam Krishna, Svastimantam, endowed with all auspiciousness, Pusha Adonitam, who was taken by the man-eating demon, Vihayasa, into the sky, Mityu Mukhat, from the mouth of death, Pramuktam, now liberated, Gopya, by the gopis, Cha and Gopa, the cowherd men, Kila, indeed, Nanda Mukyaha, headed by Nanda Maharaj, Labva, after getting Punaha, again their son, Prabhu, enjoyed Ativa very much, Modam, bliss. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Consciousness. What kind of consciousness? Loudly. We want Krishna consciousness. If we don't have Krishna consciousness, what's the other? What's left? Maya. And you're with Durga and all these demons that are right outside the gate on the whole planet. You're not part of the temple or connected with Krishna. You're now they're really becoming man-eating demons, like what just happened a couple weeks ago. Now the next World War probably coming. It's just beginning now, isn't it? Huh? Anybody know? Yeah, it's getting in. The Mahaprabhu's Leela is now. And all this cow slaughter and all this baby killing and Bollywood and godless universities, which you're sending all your children to keep getting the paycheck for all this pollution with all this industry, instead of getting back to the farm with Mother Earth and the cow and the bale, like Krishna is living with all the cowherd men and gopis, to learn to love Krishna, to learn to love Krishna's land and cows, instead of just going like AI or robots to the job with these 30-story buildings. If you don't have electrical power, how are you going to get down? If there's no electricity, there's no gas. That's coming very soon. Very soon. What are you going to do when all the power's shut down? This elevator isn't going to work. All your iPods and computers and all your jobs, where are you going to get food? And water. It's all polluted. Because of our polluted minds, we got a polluted planet. because we've been poisoned by Maya. Now the whole world is getting, ready to blow up. It's a real time, a real shake-up time, wake-up time. Right now to prepare, to organize farm communities. Prabhupada said every temple should have a farm community, and the food for the temple should be coming from our farms and from our milk from our cows. And if you're not preaching in the temple, using this as a headquarters, every temple should be a headquarter for book distribution and preaching. And to go out. And when there's no gas, we're going to have to use bullock carts. And then Prabhupada's order to Lokanath Swami for millions of bullock carts all over the world. Either going to have to ride on a horse or go by walk. Or a bullock cart. It's coming. And after the war, and millions of people. And that could mean Delhi. I don't know what Prabhupada's plan is for all these temples now that have been established all over Delhi. It just takes a couple of nukes, one or two. And then we're all in our next body. Huh? You're like shocked hearing me talk about it. But Prabhupada's talking about it on every page. We're so dull-headed. We just go on like our programming. Keep recycling our old conditioning, our old program, instead of an arta nivritti. To get serious about our hearing Bhagavatam every day. So we get, and Krishna book, to get him cycled in our database and get all that garbage out. The torchlight of knowledge. The sun comes up on the horizon and you can see. When you're full of ignorance, darkness, of ignorance, you're like this. What's this? Is that how the sages at Naimisharanya and at Shukrata were hearing Bhagavatam? Is it? They all went back home, back to Godhead. What's your purpose for coming here? Sleeping? Huh? It's a wake-up time, Prabhu. A sense of urgency. Death could be coming any minute. A wise man, a wise person, lives every moment as if it was his last. Is that the consciousness of anyone sitting here? Even those who are 70. I'm 70, my body's 73 now. At least we got to try. I know when you have a younger body, you have to kind of imagine what that consciousness is like. Because when you have a younger body, you kind of think, I'll go on like this. But when you hit 70, even 50 is the beginning of old age. Then you can begin to feel that death behind your back, breathing, with the cloak and the skeleton face and the sickle. Come on. Time, it's your time. Ajamil, I'm just hearing Prabhupada's classes on Ajamil, going through the whole Bhagavatam every day. Another verse on all his verses of the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada giving the wake-up call on Mahaprabhu and Krishna's behalf to invite us to come home with him. Is that our purpose? in life? What is our purpose? Every day that we get up, what motivates us to get up in the morning, to take practical action? If you're not motivated with some purpose, then you just be like a stone, dead, like dead matter. Are we just walking robots, chanting our rounds, or going to the job, coming home, putting some prasadam for the body? Are we in Krishna consciousness, or I'm the body, dead matter? Dead matter. The body's dead. It's always dead. A car, the auto, is dead machine. It's only because the person is inside, the living being, that it works. It's always dead. This body is dead. It's coming from the earth and it's going back to the earth. And the water, the fire, everything's going back to the elements when we leave it. But where are we going to? Where is our next destination, our next atmosphere, our next environment? Are we going to be born in Noida? In this, you can't even breathe the air because of the jobs that you're working. So you can pay the rent with paper. You can't eat paper, and you can't eat nuts and bolts. And that's all you're going to have, because that's what you're doing. You're working for nuts and bolts, machines, instead of with the cow, mother cow. This is a cow-killing country, not a cow protection country. And to make money, they're all dead. All these cows, millions of cows that were in Krishna's pasture and all over the world. Now they're all dead. People are eating the cow. That's what, if they have cows, that's what they do. And they put some kind of injection so it keeps giving a lot of milk until it dies in early age, and then they kill it. Isn't it? What are we doing about it? What are we doing about the Bollywood and the Hollywood and the television? It's all about rape and murder. And these are the big heroes, like Shah Rukh Khan, homosexual, and he's the big hero. And same-sex marriage in the Supreme Court, just in the Supreme Court, as a major political issue. These are the subjects that people are interested in, because they don't have the education of a human being from the Brahmin culture, the Brahmin education. You are meant to be the teachers in the universities, the Varnashram colleges, that we have real Kshatriyas, like Shivaji Maharaj and Yudhishthira and Arjun. Real Kshatriyas. With Brahmins, teachers like Tukaram and Ramdas Swami, that was able to break the back of the Mughal Empire with Aurangzeb. Now is the time, because right now, that same thing is happening now. And all the Muslim countries are ready to fight against India and the Chinese and Russians. It's going to be the Russians with the Chinese, not with India. They're already preparing. Isn't it? How far is the China border from here? Huh? Can you imagine what they're going to do, like they did just from Palestine? Isn't it? With machine guns, with women and children. That's what they did 500 years ago when Mahaprabhu. That's what they did after Akbar and then Aurangzeb after Aurangzeb. But it took a few band with Shivaji Maharaj and the Pune Hillfighters, isn't it? They were able to defeat with the forts. They used their intelligence, not for this industrial rape of Mother Earth and the mass annihilation of all the cows. If you did that to one cow, when he was 15, Shivaji Maharaj chopped, outside the Sultan in Bijapur, isn't it? He had the sword ready to cut off his head. And the Muslim emperor was right inside. Isn't it? And you fool around with any Mataji, even he was 15 in Pune, isn't it? One prince. Immediately, his arms and legs, bing, finished. Just one abuse of one Mataji. And that's the respected policy for the whole planet right now. Respected. And what are we doing about it? This is supposed to be Punya Bhumi. Show the whole world. To show the whole world what it means to be in a human body. To be a human being. What it means to be a human being in a body of a human. Instead of like pigs having sex with children and with anybody. And this is a programming that we're giving our children in schools internationally. And this is very respectable. And if you don't do it, you lose your job, especially in America right now. Isn't it? Huh? Are we meant to come to Bhagavatam class just like robots? Sit for some time and then go and do our different mechanical duties with no bhakti? Just like robots? No heart? How can we lose our heart in Vrindavan if we don't have one? We're heartless. We don't care. All this is going on. Nobody cares. Huh? Where's the sense of urgency now? Better late than never, isn't it? But what are we going to do to invoke that consciousness? It's going to take a major shift, isn't it? With enthusiasm. That's leadership. Enthusiasm. Not your scholarship. Even if you know a few verses. Just like a parrot. Ba, 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 ba. But where's the action? Listening means it goes in one ear and out the other. Hearing means when Arjuna heard, yes, he picks up his bow. Now I've heard everything from you, Krishna. Now I understand. Yes, I'm ready to fight. That's hearing. And we have to hear every day. Not like this. You stand up. I know the mind, the battle. We're so contaminated, polluted for so many lifetimes. But now we have to really be serious. Stand and fight. If you're sleeping, Prabhupada says stand up and fight. Krishna says stand and fight. Armed with yoga. Armed with the Krishna mantra, Maha Mantra. And armed with Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. Then automatically we can step over the head of death. If we're not with Krishna now, we won't be with him at the time of death. We have to develop Krishna consciousness every day with a sense of urgency, I have to become Krishna conscious. I'm not there. I'm not embraced by Krishna. Like Gopal Kumar, he kept chanting the Gopal mantra. And he kept going higher and higher. He kept making progress because of a sense of urgency instead of this sleepy. Are you going to be like this when you're leaving your body? When you're in the hospital? Or are you going to be, Krishna, help me, save me? I was with Gunagrai Maharaj as he left his body. I was part of the departure team. He had terminal cancer for 3 years. And 2 of those years was in Giriraj Maharaj's place in Vrindavan. And then he was shifted to a hospice for terminal patients. And I was with him through that for the last year. He wanted to be part of the party. And that was a real wake-up call, watching his body break down and being there to encourage him every day, to read to him from the Shastras. And he would have a kirtan party every evening. And it was broadcast all over the world, online. So he could be absorbed in kirtan, and he could inspire the kirtan, which was his main, with Krishna Fest. I was with him on Krishna Fest all over America, in the bus, with the team, and doing book distribution, a lot of book distribution, and making devotees. What are we doing now? Here. This is supposed to be a major Sankirtan force, a battalion. What's the spirit? What kind of spirit for victory? Hare Krishna! See, that's not good. Forget it. The Muslims come in here, they're going to be screaming at the top of their lungs, you know. These Chinese, they're insane. They don't have any any kind of human values. They're like Trinavarta here. Let's read this verse. Wherever Krishna is, victory. Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna, Yatra Parto Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shrir Vijyo Bhutir, Druvanitir Matir Mama. Wherever there's Krishna, the supreme mystic, and Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will certainly be opulence, victory, victories, extraordinary power, and morality. And Prabhu, if somebody's sleeping in class, he should either stand up or go take rest. If you want to sleep, this is not the place in class. If you go to college, you're not going to sleep when you want to get your money. Only when we hear about Krishna, that's when we sleep. And that's our mode, just going through our different services and our different activities in the day. It's not how we're doing our duty for Krishna and Guru. In our heart, with a desire to please Krishna, a desire to, with our activities. How are we going to please Krishna? When we have a sense of desire, like Mother Yashoda, when she's cooking, or Radharani, when Arjuna's on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, or in exile in the forest with his mother, Queen Kunti and Draupadi. How much have we got that in our database? Instead of all this, Karmakanda bhakti. How I will enjoy my belly, some prasadam. That's what we have, eagerness. We're not sleeping in prasadam. Are we? Nobody. I've never seen anybody sleep when we take prasadam. But I see that in the class, and I see that in our activities. Dull-headed. Dull like stone. Sleeping. We're all sleeping in the nightmare of ignorance, in the dream world. This is the dream world, the nightmare. This is the nightmare that we're absorbed in the nightmare. We think it's very nice going to our Noida apartment. Very nice. All this pollution. Very nice. Going to our job. I see everybody still going to the job. All this danger. And they're breathing the poison. And they're going to the job to create it. Enthusiastic. Brain dead. Brain dead. Brainless. What are we getting from the results of our activities? What are we getting? Are we creating a Krishna conscious planet? Or a planet fit only for cockroaches and rats? They're the only ones that are going to survive any nuclear war. Except for a few people who are, whoever's left with all the radiation. Maybe they'll have to live underground like rats. Like these tunnel rats with the Hamas. They got 500 kilometers underground, very well built. So they're very good at rat society. And that's what we have here. A dog-eat-dog rat race. Is that what kind of life you want to live? Is that the kind of world you want your children to live in? With only, rape and murder. That's what they advertise on television and all these billboards, all these television shows. That's what we get in our database. You don't see anything about Krishna Leela or Ram Leela, Mahabharat now. It's only from Britain, made in London. Isn't that where you see USA, New York City, San Francisco? All this Western demoniac brainwash. You don't see anything of Hanuman in the school. Huh? Anybody talking about Ram and the culture? Is it? Anybody about Shivaji Maharaj? It's banned. By you. You make the government. You make the schools. You make the cinema. It's what you want to see. You want your children. That's what you're going to make laws. Not to promote it. You make the world. You make Iskcon. Every one of us. Every one of us is what Iskcon is. Everyone. Iskcon means a collection. The human race means a collection of the quality of the individuals with 2 arms and 2 legs. So are we just 2-legged animals, just filling our belly? Or maybe we'll get some demigod planet because we're at least following the 4 regs and chanting Hare Krishna. So maybe we'll go up to a higher planet for a few thousand years and then for enjoyment, business religion, for my enjoyment. How I can enjoy my senses and false prestige. Oh, I'm a devotee. I'm respectable. I'm very respectable. I chant my rounds. Very nice. Is that bhakti? We're just going through the motions. Show bottle. Palgu bhakti. Show bottle. What's our spirit? What are we really dedicated for? Just sending our kids and I saw this rock star for the youth. You know, when I came yesterday for this new youth mela. Huh? And this is how we attract kids to do kirtan and harinam and book distribution. Is this it? Huh? Is it, Prabhu? Tell me. Is this how we please Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami, how they wrote all the literature for us to go back to Vrindavan, and we can go back home, back to Godhead? With Varnashram colleges for people who aren't ready for pure bhakti, how we can train people up for cow protection. And so that by association they become devotees. This is how we transform the whole planet. How we're going with it, what our strategy is. For expanding Krishna consciousness. Developing our own. If we don't develop our own bhakti, how can we inspire others? If we're not inspired, how can we inspire anybody? We got to use all these rock stars. Narak. Kamloob crowed at our youth festival. I can't believe it. Is this why this temple was built? And we installed Vrindavan Chandra? The deities? What? Yeah, Radha Govinda. What is it? Cows. Govinda means cows. Where are the cows? Where's the pasture where they can run freely with happiness and the earth soaked by the milk from the milk bags of the cows, muddy. Where's Vrindavan? Now. What's the this is what we create. Hell. We're like robots living in hell. And then in the middle of hell, we have a little where we're chanting. So we have some chants here to develop, to change the atmosphere. It begins with our own life. We're taking responsibility for our own life. If you don't care for your own life, to become the best you can in this body, in this life, every day, for the best thing that you know, that you want to achieve the best thing you can for your own life. You can't care for anybody. It begins here. Like Arjuna. Like Arjun. Hari Bol, Prabhu. Like Arjun. Undefeatable. Shivaji Maharaj, undefeatable. That's a Vaishnava. In birth and death. In his life, he's undefeatable over death. Because he's with Krishna. For Krishna, to Krishna, with Krishna. With Prabhupada, for Prabhupada, to Prabhupada. And that means with those who are with him. Das das anudas, those are already connected. To become like them, that's a disciple. That's a Prabhupada Anuga. Prabhupada said, I live forever in my books, and my followers live with me. So who are you living with? Who is your guru? Your mind? And all the thoughts of your past conditioning, or you're injecting and changing Krishnizing your database every day. That's your purpose. So you become like Parikshit Maharaj by the time of death. Huh? No hunger, no thirst. Go on. You have that ruchi, that taste, that attachment for Krishna. He's not different than his name, his form, his qualities, his activities. So it's a progression with the holy name, hearing about him, and then with getting realization and attraction to his form. Like we have the deities here. You get the deities. All your life revolves around pleasing the deities, Krishna and Prabhupada, and here especially Lokanath Maharaj. All together as a Sankirtan army. And books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. How are we saying utility when we get these rock stars? Is that how we are manifesting what Prabhupada is saying to do in these purports? Is that what we're doing? That he's present, directing as Senapati Guru? Are we, the whole mood, are we just adjusting the mood to please the masses? He didn't do that. And that's how he started this movement, and that's how it expanded. And that's how we're going to expand this movement. No other way, no other way, no other way. Until we become real disciples of Prabhupada as Shiksha, with the real Shishya, that we're really disciples, real disciples, not show bottle, mechanical, from the heart to heart relationship, soul to soul, together we stand, divided we fall. If we're not together, then automatically it's all with me and my mind and my material attachments. And we're all just walking through the motions. We don't have any real relationship with Krishna or with his guru or anybody. We don't have any friend because we're not trying to be a friend with others, with compassion for the ignorance and suffering all around us, including right here. Seeing the suffering and ignorance. Instead of the real dynamic quality of the soul with Krishna, running to see Krishna, to be with him, to dress him, to feed him, to cook for him, to go out and preach his glories, talk his glories with each other. Satam prasangam mamavirya samvido. This is how we advance, and not just like nodding out. There was reading groups in Vrindavan. When I just was leaving, I took darshan of Prabhupada in the Prabhupada house, and there was about mostly Madhajis and a few men. We're in this maybe 10, all around Prabhupada. Everyone with utsaha reading each page of what Bhagavad Gita or what Bhagavatam, I don't know. But I was so inspired by their reading group and their enthusiasm, the quality of the sound vibration that whoever was reading. Simple living, high thinking, sada jivan ucha vichar. Simple living, Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. The essence of life. And not find out when it came time to die that we had not lived. This was from an American philosopher, a quote. Some quotes from something I read in high school, who read Bhagavad Gita, in the late Henry David Thoreau. And these are a couple of his quotes that I read from a book in high school. And I underlined that word. It's repeated 3 times. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. The essence of life. And not find out that when it came time to die that I had not lived. And to be willing to die and live for something, willing to die and live. And then you have eternal life. Like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was quoting this, was saying this. How Kadambhakanana Swami, I told him, I take shelter of you as a senior godbrother, not as a disciple of Jayadvaita Maharaj. I cannot think of you like that. Because you're so connected to Prabhupada that you inspire me. Like a senior godbrother who's inspiring me to become like you. Every one of us has a responsibility to our own life to become enlightened and not remain in the darkness of ignorance. Enlightened souls. What does that mean? It means Golok is our goal. Mahaprabhu came for Golok, to give us Golok, and all the Goswamis and Acharyas, and Prabhupada's the personification of Radharani's compassion, Shaktivesh avatar, to give Radharani to us, her mood, her compassion, that we come home with her and Krishna, our Father. When somebody asks you, who's your father, who's your mother, what do you say? Where's your home? You tell them Krishna? You tell them Radharani? That's what I say. It's not where I'm from, it's where I'm really from and where I want to go. Where's my home? Where's my heart? Home's where the heart is. And I'm home. Prabhupada brought Vrindavan to New York City after 2 heart attacks to give that to me, to my real home. The kind of struggles he made for us and Lokanath Maharaj, for you. The same spirit, desperately trying to get you to wake up, to want to go home and give that to others. Because what you can only give what you have, what you want. And practice makes perfect. If that's what you want, then every word, thought, and deed will be for that purpose. And not just how to fill your belly and come out and chant a few rounds so you don't go to hell. But then you want to go home, running with the cowherd boys, with the gopis to see Krishna, or the deer, or the animals, or the parrots, or the peacocks. You want to be with them. I get so inspired whenever I see a parrot. But now I hardly ever see any parrots anymore because nobody's taking birth as parrots. They take birth as pigeons and crows and rats. I don't see. Anywhere you go, you see crows and pigeons and rats. And that's who taking birth. Or peacocks around Vrindavan. You don't see them anymore. So, Prabhu, anyway, I guess it's getting time. Late. Late. Late for what? What are we late? Where are we going when we get up from the Bhagavatam class? What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? What's our intention? What's our attitude? What's our mood? Is it like Prabhupada's mood? That's disciples, same mood, same quality. That's what we have to aspire for, Prabhupada quality mood. And that should be the parampara. Like Gopal Krishna Maharaj is expanding all these temples all over Delhi with real Sankirtan in the whole world, east of Kailash. Isn't it? The spirit, and thousands are coming. I don't see that here. And thousands of students and kids coming every day. And even Modi worshiping the Bhagavad Gita. So what are we doing here? What's our mood? What each individual? It's not somebody else. It's me. And each one of us. Are you going to be like a dull stone? You know, it just takes one link in the chain that breaks the whole chain. Each one of those chain links, that they're like steel, unbreakable. So each one of us is a link in the chain of Vaishnavas. So what quality of Vaishnavas are we, or trying to become? Because you are what you think most about. You become like what you think most about. Every day, what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Huh? And that's what you read, that's what you do. Everything in your life is centered around that purpose. Whatever your occupation, whatever you do, it's for Krishna's pleasure alone is my motive. That's what Prabhupada said to Jayapataka Swami. And for a devotee, everything you do, all the details of what you do, whether it's cleaning the floor, cooking, to please Krishna is my motive. How are you going to do it? Spotless, pukka, isn't it? Exactly the way Krishna likes that prep. That's going to be your meditation, not how I want to fill my belly. Huh? That's prasadam. When you prepare food for Radha and Krishna, or the Jagannath and Balaram and Subhadra Devi, that's prasadam. A loving offering. With love. So how are we developing that? Practicing it. Huh? Is that our mood? We just, I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. But how you're in the moment. For Krishna alone, pleasure is my motive. Everything you do, every thought, every word, every deed. That's eternal time. That's eternal time. Always with Krishna. Then you're beyond birth and death. Janma or mrityu se pare. That's what Prabhupada came to invoke in the consciousness. The consciousness. What's the quality of my consciousness? Is it material or devotional to Krishna and Guru and the Vaishnavas? Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And then you're hooked up with Chaitya Guru. All the gurus that you're hooked up. Every word, thought, and deed, for their alone pleasure is our motive, carrying out their order, with Krishna driving this chariot. And we're the jiva. Boom. Like a smart missile. Like I see only the eye of the bird. Yes, you can shoot. Heart to heart. Always aiming for the heart of everybody. As a family, Krishna Kaparivar. Seeing everyone as family, every living being. Including even a mosquito. It took me many years till I could stop going like this and at least put some Odomos or some mosquito net. Try to get him out of the room or something. Rather than heartlessly being. This is Krishna consciousness. Like on his bead bag. Prabhupada's, someone just gave it to me as a gift. The day before I went to Vrindavan a couple days ago. For one day, and then I came here. Because I wanted to see Lokanath Maharaj. Because I knew he was in Vrindavan, so I wanted to see him. And that's why I went. And then I came here. Because Maharaj is in my heart, and I'm always with him. He's given me a service that I can connect with to revive the village culture, the Vrindavan village, and to do my best to just do what I'm doing now with anybody I meet, and try to get anybody I meet get going. We got together as a family. I need relationships. It's all about relationships, isn't it? It's the meaning of our existence. Relationships. I realized that as a child. That quality relationships is the meaning of our existence. It's what we are. Our service, whatever we do, it's all about the quality of our relationships. That we're bonded together, heart to heart. That's friend. That's a friend. Willing to live and die for each other, to help each other. In Krishna's service. That's Sankirtan soldiers. And that's where you're going to get victory. That together, in our service together, we're always hearing and chanting and serving to Krishna. Like on Padayatra. On Padayatra, it's not like this, Prabhu, formality. It's real family, real bonding. Because you're like elite forces of Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan soldiers, anywhere and everywhere, going. Distributing books. And so birds of a feather, persons who have a taste for that, adventure, and Krishna consciousness, and giving that to others. The kind of quality kirtans that those devotees, and they inspire that in the people, and dancing, and distribution. That's what puts a smile on Prabhupada's face when he sees the number of books increasing and people coming to the temple and becoming devotees. That's what makes the Lord and Krishna's devotees happy. And that's the desire of everyone. Everyone is precious. Every devotee is precious. Very dear to Krishna. Every soul is very dear to Krishna. But we can only taste that when he becomes dear to us. Then we can experience it. Only we can get what we can give what we are giving, that's what we get immediately. If you're always critical of others, oh, he's just new, or the floor is dirty or something, and look with that, look at him, and this whole, then you'll be negative, and that's the false ego, criticizing everybody, fault finding, isn't it? Isn't that our main false ego? We're so contaminated. And so we don't really bond or appreciate anybody. Whatever good quality, Prabhupada would see it and invoke it, that he appreciates you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for coming to Bhagavatam class. And that's the feelings. You say thank you right now, loudly. Thank you for talking about Krishna. Thank you. Say it. That's what you feel immediately. You just say it, even if you don't mean it. But you'll feel it, and then you'll mean it. What you speak will be what you experience. Huh? So if we hear nicely, then we can speak what we hear, and then we can meditate on that and remember. So we must only speak from Bhagavat. And think, and the result of our duty is all coming from the Bhagavat. Whatever we do, it's all covered. Whoever we are, whatever we're doing, and together for Krishna's purpose, ultimately, the result, somehow or other, to see the result is to please Prabhupada, Krishna, Lokanath, everybody, Radhanath, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, all together to please. Not for our pleasure, but for their pleasure, for Krishna's pleasure, Radharani's pleasure, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Rupa Goswami. They're all for Krishna and Radharani's pleasure, including Mahaprabhu, when he's in the mood of Radharani, to please Krishna. Huh? So intense. It's the quality of intensity, intense feelings that we want to develop. That's what Krishna attracts. Is it? Intense feelings. So we have to at least begin. I'm beginning to get something now. Before I was so much struggling just to keep going, to read the books, keep my rounds and not fall down. Coming from the West. Close to suicide most of my life. With heavy mental struggles. Now I'm finally getting free from all of that nonsense karma, very much aparad, fault-finding mentality, and to minimize that and check it, being afraid of Maya. Taking shelter of Prabhupada in these books to keep going and preaching, and to push the demoniac like Kaliya with all the poison, and you invoke Krishna, and he squeezes all the poisons out, dancing on your head. On the mind. Hare Krishna. Bolo. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. At least you can probably give this verse tomorrow, this class on the verse tomorrow again. But at least I can close the class reading it. I don't have my glasses, but here. The gopis immediately picked Krishna up from the chest of the demon and delivered him. They delivered Krishna off the chest. We got to want to save Krishna. Krishna, like Mother Yashoda and the gopis, they were seeing Krishna and she was going into the lake with Kaliya. Krishna was in the trapped in all the coils of the snake. And he was there, and Mother Yashoda was running into the lake, and Balaram pacified her and the other gopis. No, and then she fainted because she couldn't bear to see Krishna in the grips of the Kaliya serpent. This is bhakti. And we love Krishna so much, we're trying to save him and be with him. This is the goal. Anyway, the gopis immediately picked Krishna up from the chest of the demon and delivered him, free from all inauspiciousness, to Mother Yashoda, because the child, although taken into the sky by the demon, was unhurt, and now free from all danger and misfortune. The gopis and cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, were extremely happy. Krishna! And so happy to get him back in their arms. Huh? Isn't it? If this is Krishna Katha, it's being there. Being there. It's non-different from being there. The holy name with Krishna. He is there in his name, in his pastimes. Look at this devotee. I don't know your name, Prabhu, but stand up. Please. That's Prabhupada's instruction. If you don't read the books or you don't hear from Prabhupada, then you won't know his instruction to do it. To follow him. His instructions. Instead of you'll be stuck with your mind. Instead of stand and fight, armed with yoga. That's what Krishna says, stand and fight. Isn't it? Then you can move. More enthusiastic than the enemy of the mind. With Krishna driving your chariot, and Arjuna, and Prabhupada. So here. Okay, you ready to hear now? And not just while you're sleeping, somehow it's something is... The demon fell flat from the sky, and Krishna was playing on his chest very happily, uninjured and free from misfortune. Not at all disturbed because of being taken high in the sky by the demon. Krishna was playing and enjoying. This is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. In any condition, Krishna is Sachit Ananda Vigraha. You know what that means? You know what that means? Sachit Ananda Vigraha? Can you translate that in English? That's why you're here. Even though you're wearing the army clothes. The British cloth. And they were killing. And the British soldiers were killing because they were wearing khadi, handloom. Now we're all, British, isn't it? The whole government still British, American, cinema, everything, the books. Huh? We got to turn that around. Hastinapur, this is the seat for the whole world, management. And I see that in Delhi, that mood. This is supposed to be a sister temple to Delhi, and Gopal Krishna Maharaj is like Lokanath is like in the mood of the younger brother with Gopal. But we got to get, Prabhu, it's time for an upgrade. Prabhupada said, humility means seeing how you can improve. Huh? So I think we can take maybe an upgrade of somewhere, see how we can improve our mood and our intention and how we're going to do it. Huh? You're all chanting, that's very nice. Anybody who's chanting is Yuga Dharma. So much glorification about those who chant daily the holy name. Even Ajamil got some special mercy because he did that and he fell down and became, a dacoit, a criminal, a cheater, a liar. But then at the last breath, he named his son, and he was attached to his Narayan, And by chanting Narayan, come here, Narayan. And then, oh, Narayan! Narayan! When the Yamadutas were coming, then the Vishnudutas came. So somehow or other. But if we can really get our act together and really be working on that every day to really get our act together with Krishna, we'll become real devotees like him. And those who are really like that with Prabhupada, that we also are at their feet to become like them and Prabhupada. That's parampara. Like Kadamakananda Maharaj. Huh? I was with him just before he left his body, and I was just shocked, so inspired. He was completely fearless with 100 tumors. And just like even just before he left his body, just preaching. Just like life is just his intense preaching. Practically his mood right to the last breath. Anyway, so let's finish the purport. Others might have thought that he was in difficulty, but because the demon's chest was sufficiently broad to play on, the baby was happy in all respects. It was most astonishing that although the demon went so high in the sky, the child did not fall down. Therefore, the child had been saved virtually from the mouth of death. So, I don't know, but there's hundreds of nukes on all the major cities all over the planet, including America now. You know? And that means Delhi is going to be the primary target. Is it? The seat of the government. So, what does it say here? Therefore, the child had been saved virtually from the mouth of death. He was saved. All the inhabitants of Vrindavan were happy. Jai Shri Krishna. Victory. This is all Chaitanya Leela right now. Trinavarta demons, Ravana, they're everywhere. Actually, that's how you get trained up in these universities. And what's your qualification? Some software engineer for some of these companies, isn't it? And doctors killing babies, these allopathic doctors. And they make big money cutting you up with surgery. Instead of Ayurveda, how do you live a godly life? Prasadam. How to get to the cause of the problem and not just with the effects for drinking beer and alcohol and whiskey and unlimited sex with all these sexual diseases. AIDS and herpes. All these rogue, because of a rogue world, a rogue education. People are getting sick mentally, suicide. My sister, my father gunned, my sister hanging from a fan. Big money. When my father saw me as a devotee, he said, "You're going to commit suicide, you'll see." That was his color, and I was thinking, we'll see. And he ended up doing that. Because that's all he was suffering at 91. He could no longer play the game for the big money stuff. And so what's the point of living? Prabhupada says, when you're a materialist and you're suffering, so you end up suffering. You don't know about that you're going to continue to live after the body. The body's just a dead machine. You're eternal. You can't die. You're going to continue to live with that consciousness. So he's suffering. He was suffering. My mother had dementia when he died. About 90. My mother was about 89 or 88. She couldn't even recognize, when you don't know who somebody is. She couldn't even recognize him as a husband. So, this is life.